afternoon and welcome back. I'm sorry about the noise in the background, but I have to do this today because we have prepared our beds yesterday and I really need to sow these seeds. I have already soaked them earlier this morning. These have been soaking for about 6 to 8 hours. I have a mixture here of peas and rye and radishes, and I added some hairy veg as well. And we're going to broadcast this over the area that we have prepared yesterday. And I'm just going to repeat here that this is an experiment. I am not sure if sowing a cover crop on top of grass works. I saw a couple people on YouTube doing it and I like to try myself too to see if it will work for us. And I'm just starting to throw the seeds down and sprinkling them around. The main reason why I wanted to do this cover crop here, it's because I want to see if the roots of these new plants that I'm sowing will help breaking down the soil a little more. We have dug under the grass and the root system is very shallow. So I'll show a few things that have a bit of a bigger root system. You can start working the soil a little bit. I have some tillage radish in the mix, and that's supposed to really help breaking down compacted soil, so I have really high hopes for that. And I also have some winter rye that's supposed to have some complex root systems and penetrate the soil a little bit more too. The field peas and the hairy veg, I believe, are a bit more shallow rooted, but they will help by adding green manure to the soil next year and help with adding nitrogen as well. Alright, that's all done, and there are a couple things that I want to do next because I'm concerned that now the birds are going to come here and just eat everything. And I'm also a little worried about the seeds not having some good soil contact. I never really broadcasted seeds like this. So I think I'm going to get the rake and kind of try to rake them in, just to scratch things up a little bit and see if I can get the seeds a little bit deeper in the grass and see if they will fall in a little bit more. They have to have good contact with the soil in order to germinate, and I threw lots of seeds in there, so even if only half of it germinates, I will already be really happy. Okay, so this was a bit harder than I thought because I could not see the seeds that are thrown in the ground. So I was trying to move things around and scratch things a little bit to see if they can go even deeper, but hopefully it works. The next thing I'm going to do now is just give it a really good watering and hope that that also push the seeds closer to the soil too. I had to attach 4 large hoses to have this hose reach over here to water this space. So I just wanted to also tell you guys that in the future, our plan would be to irrigate these garden spaces that we are preparing from the pond. So both of these areas, the one we prepared yesterday and this one here today, are around the pond. And we plan to have some sort of pump irrigation that we could have the water in there, reach in here and also bring all that nice nutrient-rich water to irrigate and feed the plants. And hopefully we can find something that's solar powered and easy to install, so it'll be a little bit easier for us to get that done next year. We are currently having a drought, unfortunately, and our pond is almost dry, but we actually don't know if it's just because of the drought or if it's because it's a seasonal thing. We moved here this fall, so maybe the pond dries a little bit for the winter and then gets all filled up in the spring when all of the spring rains come. I don't know, we'll learn. But if we do have enough water, I must say, we will try to do this irrigation system and pump some water from the pond into the garden. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to do here is to put a tarp in a section of the area that we prepared. I don't have a lot of tarps, I only have one. That I can put here now. I might possibly be able to move some black ones that I have in the backyard right now. But I wanted to put it on mainly because I want to keep it a little warm to make it easier for the seeds to germinate, and I also want to protect it from the birds. So I'll probably only leave it on for a few days and I'll keep checking on it. If I see that things are sprouting and germinating, I'll remove it so to make sure they have access to sunlight and they are able to grow. And I want to see if that will make a difference or help things speed up a bit or not. So it's going to be part of the experiment too. Okay, we're going to start with this section and see what's going to happen. I'm gonna go grab some rocks to secure this tarp down. And it's all done. Here's how it looks. We were only able to cover a small area in the front, but that's all right. We'll see if that will make a difference. Now, since I had the hose all the way up here, I decided to give another really good watering on the beds that we made yesterday, or I must say we finished making yesterday. It's been a little bit cold, but the temperatures are going to rise up a little bit this week for a couple days. So hopefully I'll be able to come here and water the beds a couple more times too before we have to turn off our outside water for the winter. And since we already have lots of leaves on the ground, I wanted to start raking them on top of these garden beds to protect them. It will help to keep the moisture in and keep the beds a little warmer. If you missed the last video, I made these beds with the no-dig method, so I just laid some cardboard down and added some compost that was not fully broken down yet. It still had big pieces of wood on it, and it's best to be a bit more well-aged before planting. That's why I am doing this whole process now in the fall, so it has a chance to break down a little more and be properly aged by the spring. All right, I ran out of time. Just had time today to cover these 2 beds with leaf here, and then hopefully sometime tomorrow I'll come back and rake some more to cover their longer beds. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time.